Your next vehicle from Community Motors of Mason City.
Great service from 3 locations: Community in Monroe, Community Motors Westside, and Mason City Ford. 10 new franchises and hundreds of vehicles to give you more choices. Plus, Community offers an exclusive 3-3 warranty on pre-owned vehicles and 10-year, 250,000-mile warranty on new. Need more reasons why? Stop or visit CommunityAutoGroup.com.
Because nobody beats a community deal.
9:45, it's Tuesday morning, October 23rd. At this time, I'll open up the Cerro Gordo County Board of Supervisors regular session. Item 1 and item 2 on the agenda is the agenda for today. And the October 16th regular session and the October 16th special session.
Mr. Chairman, I move the agenda and the minutes of the meetings of the 16th.
Okay, and I'll second it. We have a motion and a second to approve the agenda for this morning and the October 16th regular session and the special session. Is there any questions? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Moving on to new business. County engineer.
The box culvert, the guys have been working on the box culvert installation down on Mallard Avenue south of B60, and they should be setting the last line of it today, and hopefully we should have that open by the end of this week. They're getting ready for snow, put snow equipment on, getting equipment repairs done. We have a lot of equipment down right now waiting for parts to come in and stuff like that, but we're getting there. And then County Road B20 that we repaved this, or we reconstructed this last year, Heartland and I are still working on trying to come to an agreement. He's doing some investigation on with his bonding company to see if he can get a bond, and then kind of how we want it, if we were to go towards the warranty, how we would implement that. So we're still working on negotiations with that. Haven't come to a final resolution.
We still have the retainage.
We have, yeah, I'm holding all payment for the asphalt mix for the surface, the binder for the surface, and then any retainage, which is about $200,000 that with withholding payment on. So there is some desire to get that resolved on Heartland's part too, so his payment. And then in the budget I had a maintainer purchase for a new maintainer. The maintainer we're looking at getting rid of and trading off was a 96 Caterpillar maintainer, and in doing some investigation with the trade values, I got to talking to one of the parts people at Ziegler, and they said they do have a motor grader rebuild program. And what they'll do is they'll come out and they'll take a half a day to go through the machine in detail and look at things that would need to be done, and then they'll put together a proposal on what it would cost to rebuild that machine. And what they essentially do, it takes about 3 months. They'll take it apart, they rebuild the engine, they rebuild the transmission. They pretty much tell you it's like a second life, and then they put a warranty on it like you would a new machine, and for quite a bit cheaper. I've talked to him about doing that, and he's working on getting a proposal prepared for me, and then once he gets that proposal prepared, I can look at, because you lose some of the trade value waiting another 10 years hanging on that machine. So I would look at the cost savings.
What year is this one?
96.
Okay.
It's a 96. It's currently got 13,000 hours on it, and we have not done any major repairs. So it's been a very good machine.
I imagine the representatives from Caterpillar and John Deere will be greatly disappointed.
I think they will, because I did get some estimated prices. I haven't officially taken quotes on them, but I've talked to the John Deere salesperson and to the Ziegler salesperson about, you know, just what's it going to cost me, and then I got to thinking, you know, I did talk to somebody about this rebuild program, and it's not a new program, but they've been turning around and doing more maintainers lately. A lot of the maintainers, whether you're a deer or cat, you see it in your cars, they're going to electronics. So these older maintainers are holding their value really well, it seems like. So I guess I don't wanna give this machine away if we can rebuild it and there's still a lot of value there. So I'm gonna look at the cost difference, if you guys are interested in that. I mean, and I've talked to the foreman and he seems to have an interest to do that as well. I'm not opposed to it anyway, so.
Which shed is this on?
Mason City.
Okay.
Yeah, so, I think it's worth looking into at least. There's been a couple counties in Iowa that have done it, and then there's several more who have their machines in the shop right now. It's something I wouldn't wanna do during the winter, cause like I said, it's pretty expensive and it takes about 3 months by the time they take apart, your machine. And he did give me some pictures, I will have to show you the pictures, cause I think my foreman was a little hesitant about it at first, but then when he saw the pictures and realized how much they do take apart the machine, they get it down to that, just that powertrain, they get it right down to the main frame, and when it is done, it looks like it is brand new, so.
I hadn't heard a couple years ago, they did a lot of that kind of work, and then that's why they hold their value so well, they do a lot of that kind of work, and then they sell them over in China.
Overseas, I know they've been selling a lot to like China and, maybe Brazil and foreign countries, you know. So.
Good.
But we're looking at that as an option to purchasing new, in lieu of purchasing new, to
Yep.
see what the cost savings is. And that's all I have to report on.
Okay. Anything else for Mary this morning? Okay, thanks, Mary.
Thank you.
Moving on to the county auditor's business.
Claims for your consideration.
Okay,
Mr. Chairman, at this time, I make a motion to approve the claims and authorize your signature where appropriate.
okay. I'll second said motion. Motion is to authorize the chair to sign the claims where appropriate, and okay the bills. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Payroll.
No payroll issues today.
Okay. Drainage.
We have one drainage issue from Dale Caspers. I believe Sandy spoke to you about this one. 2 broken tiles. Dale actually contacted Rex Liqui and has already had it repaired. This is in Drainage District 64, Section 10, Township 94, Range 21, Pleasant Valley, with the repair bill at $300. It's done in September.
Okay.
He's asking for reimbursement because it is,
Yeah, he come in a week ago, I think it was about now, and asked if he could be reimbursed. He didn't realize that it was the drainage district problem. And he showed me where it was on the map, and he did it, and I think we need to reimburse. It's just a $300 bill. It had to be okay.
Is that gonna come from the drainage district?
Yep.
Yeah,
Comes from
I
the-
agree.
So-
And you also wanna remind him that we do have
I did remind him
system in
that.
place to try to address these issues,
Yep.
and I'm sure he wasn't aware of it, because obviously he wouldn't have done it otherwise. I know Dale, and I think you do too.
Right. He was sorry that he didn't realize it, and it was kinda after the fact, and I told him, I said, next time we need to have that done, but I don't have a problem with doing this, so I'll make a motion that we pay Rex's $300 bill.
I'll second.
Okay, we got a motion second to do a Drainage District 64 repair that Dale Caspers asked for. Is there any discussion?
My only suggestion is we do send a letter just saying, Dale, please, it's just so it's in writing.
That's a good idea.
In the future,
We'll do that.
we need to follow the procedure, which is to have Mr. Fairman investigate.
Okay. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of said motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Anything else for the auditor?
that will be all today, thank you.
Okay. Item C, zoning administrator, authorize the chair to sign the certificate of completion for the agreement for private development for Mason City Red Power.
our development agreement with Mason City Red Power requires the county to issue a certificate of completion signed by the chairman of the Board of Supervisors and recorded, and then it's issued to Red Power. I conducted a visit with Randy Bolbols, who's a controller with Mason City Red Power, last Thursday. The building is impressive. It's nearly complete. Just a few items that I observed that needed to be finished included mostly finished work, carpeting and baseboards in a few offices, ceiling and concrete floors, racking for parts and supplies, minor electrical work, and installation of a parts counter. But the actual construction of the building, excluding the materials and equipment that they'll have in the building, is what I would consider to be substantially complete. Randy Hinton happened to be there as well. He said that because they need their business to continue to be operational during the move, and because he doesn't want finish work occurring while he's got employees trying to perform their daily duties in the building, he wants to make sure everything's complete in the new building before they make their move, and he estimates occupancy by the end of the year. So based on my observations, the building is substantially complete. I'd recommend that the board authorize the chair to sign the certificate of completion.
Upon your recommendation, I'd make that motion.
Okay, and I'll second that motion. We got a motion and second to authorize the chair to sign the certificate of completion. Is there any other discussion? I did talk to Randy Hinton here about a month or so ago, and he said that they were moving along nicely, and he wanted to know if someday we want to stop up and show us around.
It's a very nice building.
It's very impressive from the
In
outside,
fact,
I know that.
you could, in the bay where they'll be where the mechanics will work, it's as large as a football field in there. In fact, Randy Bolbols mentioned maybe they should have an arena football game in there.
Well, that'd be interesting.
It would, especially because of the controls for their overhead hoists are hanging down, and that might interfere some with receivers.
Yeah, I'm sure probably would. Anything else? Hearing nothing else, all those in favor of said motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Moving on to item D, golf course ordinance.
Well, earlier this year, Bob, you received a few inquiries from the South Shore from people interested in seeing that the use of golf carts be legalized in the South Shore area of the county because they take their golf carts from their residences on the South Shore of the lake to Arrowhead Golf Course or Oak Hills Golf Course. And I believe one of them had even been stopped by a state trooper and fined, not the sheriff's department, but the state trooper, for operating their golf cart on a county road. And so that's primarily where the questions came out of, was that densely populated area on the south shore of the lake. This has been a collaborative project between Mary's office and Kevin's office. We also had a lot of help from the county attorney's office on this too. So the outcome is the ordinance that you have before you. It closely follows Chapter 78 of the Clear Lake Code of Ordinances, which addresses the use of golf carts on city streets inside the city limits of Clear Lake. We've gone through a number of drafts of this ordinance. I think it addresses quite a few issues, just some highlights of this particular ordinance. It only allows golf carts on specified county roads for traveling directly to and from a golf course. So you can't go joyriding in the golf cart. You can't use it for general transportation or entertainment. Golf carts be used to go play golf. They're not designed for general transportation. They're designed to be used on grass on a golf course, or in my case, rather tall grass on a golf course. They may only be operated between 30 minutes after sunrise and 30 minutes before sunset. They are not allowed on primary roads. They can only be operated on roads with a posted speed limit of 45 miles an hour or less. They're required to have a slow-moving vehicle sign on the golf cart, a bicycle safety flag, and adequate brakes. An annual $10 permit will need to be obtained from the sheriff in order to operate a golf cart on county roads, and application criteria are included in section 10 of the proposed ordinance. There is some administration that's required as part of this. Individuals will need to file an application, provide their route that they're going to be driving their golf cart on, and then they'll receive a sticker to put on the golf cart from the sheriff's department. An ordinance like this should probably go through at least 2 readings, and that's what I'm proposing here under the agenda, is that you set the dates for the considerations for November 6th, and the second and final for November 3rd, and then waive the third consideration and the requirement to publish the summary. I've got a suggested motion in my memo to you. I need to acknowledge the efforts of Eric Newhouse, who served as a legal intern with the county attorney's office this summer. He was involved in our meetings and researched the legality of preparing an ordinance like this, and actually put together one of the first drafts that we based our ordinance off of. We had good cooperation with the county attorney's office in reviewing our proposed drafts, as well as putting together the ordinance, and also the auditor's office helped me with the formatting of the ordinance as far as the readings and those types of things. So, not to mention the input that Kevin and Mary provided throughout this process. This is almost more their ordinance. It is more their ordinance than it is anything that I had to do with. So.
Well,
Sure.
I'm just the windbag presenting it, so.
No, I guess the only thing I'd add is that, Bob had a few people inquiring about it, and so did I, and it's mostly summer residents, clearly, that are wanting to get to and from the golf course.
And they kind of said, they can, in the town of Clear Lake, you can run your golf carts and stuff, so I didn't see a problem, and I also want to thank Mary, Kevin and Carlisle and Tom for everything they did, because they were quite persistent on wanting this, and everybody worked together so we could get it done. So at this time, I'll make the motion. We set the first consideration of ordinance 55 for November 6th and November 13th. And the second.
Yeah, second and final, waiving the third.
Okay.
And the requirement to publish.
Okay.
I believe that's by a roll call vote.
Yes.
Oh, that's by roll call, okay. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, it's a roll call vote, so, Jay?
Aye.
Phil's absent today, and myself, Bob, and I said aye, so it passes. Thank you, people. Now we'll move on to item E, Iowa Economic Development Authority. Authorize the chair to sign the development agreement by and between Cerro Gordo County, Iowa, and Parkside Development, LLC, with CDBG funding from the Iowa Economic Development Authority under the contract number 08-DRH-002 in accordance with the Route number 4 development plan. Myrtle, is this you?
Yep, that's me, believe
Okay.
it or not. The reason I'm here today is just to make sure, this pool of funds has been very large. It's from the floods of 2008, yes, still, it's from the floods of 2008. And we're looking at housing infrastructure and how we replace that. You approved this project 2-3 months ago probably, but now we're at the point where the developer is ready to sign the development agreement, actually has signed the development agreement. And what it says more or less is that they need to follow the rules or pay back the money. And so, so they've signed that and agreed to it, and Cerro Gordo County is the lead agency for our region for those flood funds.
Yes, we've had Joe Meyer over here a lot.
Yeah, and he's on vacation, otherwise you probably would have gotten to see
Yeah,
him.
and he didn't ask me to go with him, so I don't know if I'll
What was
sign
he
anymore.
thinking?
Yeah, so I don't know if I'll sign any more of these or not.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Myrtle. What's your wishes?
I'd make a motion to adopt as presented.
Okay, and I'll second that. We got a motion and second to adopt as presented with the Iowa Economic Development Authority. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Thanks, Myrtle. Moving on to item F. Agreements and contracts. Authorize the chair to sign an intergovernmental agreement creating county social services adding Fayette County.
Yeah, every time they add a county to the County Social Services Consortium, they have to create an additional agreement. Currently, including Fayette County, there are now 18 counties in this agreement.
Okay?
That's where Phil's at today.
Yep.
Yep.
That's where Phil's at.
Bob's empire continues to expand.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, he's at a press conference with Bob Lincoln, so.
As we've talked before, this is kind of one of the pilot projects for the state on mental health funding. So far, it's going over very well, and I think it'll be the model that we'll be using down the road in the future. So
Almost a fifth of the counties.
Yep.
It's quite impressive at this point.
Yep. So.
I make a motion to authorize your signature, Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
Adding Fayette County.
Okay, we got a motion and second to authorize my signature adding Fayette County to the intergovernmental agreement creating county social services. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Moving on to item G, appointments. I have none. Correspondence and communications. Is there anything?
No.
Okay. Adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you for coming, everybody.